Da-da-da-dum, da-da-da-da. Da-da-dum, da-da-da. Sherlock Holmes. Sherlock Holmes. Mhm. Dobra. Dun, 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 dun.
Holmes, for heaven's sake, whatever's going on?
Oh, hello, Watson. You're early. Did you kill all of your patients?
What? Holmes, where have all these wretched bees come from?
I increased the temperature of the room so as to prevent them from hibernating. I needed to take a sample of honey. But it worked, Watson. We will have honey all year round.
A, XD.
Ridiculous and dangerous.
They're domestic bees, Apis mellifera, such industrious workers. Anyway, Watson, I am sorry, but I must leave you. I'm in rather a hurry.
You have a new case?
Yes, but nothing as thrilling as this experiment. A theft of plants at the Royal Botanic Gardens in Kew. I'm helping a minister who's an old friend of mine. You can join me if you like.
Well, I'll admit that I'd far rather accompany you than remain alone here with these workers of yours. Besides, you'll need a helping hand with the flowers you're intending to bring back.
Watson, however did you guess?
For the great Sherlock Holmes to bother with the theft of plants. Come on, admit that you're planning to spoil your little bees with some rare pollens.
Since when did I become so transparent? Let us go.
Let us go. Pszczółki sobie latają. Du, 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 du. Może zmieńmy sobie. O, zielony się przyda, fajnie wygląda. But to this day she still serves her sentence with her mate. O.
Well, Holmes, here we are at the Royal Botanic Gardens. There's no doubt that this place is beautiful. But are you really intent on investigating the theft of the plants?
Yes, of course.
Don't touch anything else, is that clear? Just go and get a bucket of fertilizer. And without turning it over this time. Good day to you, gentlemen. How may I help you? If you are here for a visit, please do come back on Sunday.
I am afraid that it cannot wait. My name is Sherlock Holmes, and this is my friend and colleague, Dr. Watson. We are investigating the theft of plants that took place here 5 days ago. A remarkable collection, I believe.
So you're the one in charge, eh?
A small favor for a friend. Now, to whom do I have the pleasure of speaking?
I am Martin Hamish. I am the Deputy Director of Kew Gardens. And that fellow yonder is Albert. He works here.
I am delighted to meet you. What can you tell us about the plants?
They were rare and exceptional plants. We presented them at our last exhibition. We haven't removed the stand yet. It is still in the large glass house. We only learned of their disappearance the evening after the exhibition, and nobody saw anything.
No doors were forced?
No, but I would imagine that for a thief it would be fairly easy to gain entry, for there are no guards here.
Well, if you don't mind, we will take a look. Now, you say that it is in the large glass house.
Yes, the one just behind me. Just a second, since Albert has nothing else to do. Albert, show these gentlemen where the exhibition was held.
How many people work here?
Only myself, but occasionally 2 students, Albert, whom you have met, and Miss White.
Miss White.
Here it is. This is the place where the stolen plants were exhibited.
Thank you. Is there something the matter?
Yes, there is. All right, the plants were valuable and rare, but it seems to me that the tragedy that took place here only 2 days ago has been entirely forgotten already.
What tragedy are you referring to?
The director of Kew Gardens, Mr. Montague Dunn, he died here just 2 days ago.
We're very sorry. We were not aware. The two of you were good friends?
He was my father.
Oh dear. Our condolences. We should not be troubling you. Please do excuse us for the intrusion.
You say that he died here, in the large glass house.
Holmes?
Yes, just here, near the door to the colonial collection. He suffered a heart attack. Just like that. So suddenly. It was terrible. Excuse me, gentlemen, but I cannot remain here. If you need me, I'll be in the reserve. That's the room next to the front of the large greenhouse.
Of course, we understand.
We understand. To będzie coś powiązane z tymi, kurczę, jedno z drugim.
Do not...
Bo pamiętam, że ten zawał serca to był wywołany przez jakieś tam wydzieliny, nie wiem jak to nazwać, tych roślin.
According to Albert, this is where his father, Montague Dunn, was found dead. The traces are thinner in some places. These boot marks are fresh. It appears as though someone was dragging their feet. The footprints reveal that someone staggered here. Fragments of a flower pot. It fell down here.
O.
Soil. It should have come from a flower pot.
Should have come.
The soil on the side of this flower shelf is the same as that on the ground. This pot was broken fairly recently. A flower pot recently fell down from these shelves and was misplaced. The door was smashed at shoulder height. This door handle is new. It was recently changed. The escutcheon was breached near the handle. The door was forced from the inside of the Colonial Collection room. The handle was changed afterwards.
I think we need to inspect the Colonial Collection.
These trees, with their roots in water, must originate from Louisiana.
Ah, yes, the bayou. I remember our visit in the case of the Awakened.
Here is a list of the stolen plants. According to this, they have light and moisture control in some parts of the building.
Can I help you, gentlemen?
Do you work here? Wept, consumed by grief. Clean hands.
Do you work here?
Yes, but part-time only. For I'm also studying botany at the University of London.
You're following in your father's footsteps, then. That is commendable.
Well, even if botany is not my strongest suit, there are people who say that I could be a good manager.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
Okay, myślę, że można po prostu zagadać do nich. O tym tamtym. Dirty cola. Unmarried. A jeszcze coś.
Albert told us about the tragic death of Mr. Dunn, the late director of Kew Gardens.
Tragic indeed. His heart attack was quite unexpected.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Wyjebane. Pamiętam, że tu będzie jakieś odtwarzanie sytuacji. I pamiętam, że w ogóle nie umiałem tego ogarnąć. Za Chiny ludowe.
Seed house.
Seed house ventilation.
System. Dry tropics. Water lily greenhouse. Palm house. Director's office, cloakroom and laboratory. Colonial collection. Reserve.
Czyli możemy sami odejść od tego. Ok, 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 ok.
Locked.
Kurde.
Locked. Locked.
Nursery.
Locked.
O kurwa, co jest?
Locked.
Wszystko pozamykane, kurwa. Kurwa, jebano.
Burning. The
To chyba
symbol
będzie
is
z tego,
not from Kew Gardens.
z tej wystawy.
A broom handle was half burned. The plants were set alight fairly recently. Some have not completely burned.
Maska gazowa.
Protective mask. Someone set it alight, but it did not burn. The remains of a picture frame. A door handle? Why would anyone throw such a thing in the fire? The door handle to the colonial collection and that of the fireplace are made of the same material.
Na, 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 na.
These flower pots are beautiful. They are intended to be used for... The symbol is not from Kew Gardens.
Ok.
What should we do next, Holmes?
You should go fuck yourself, man. Watson. My man. My man. Dun, 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 dun. To byliśmy tutaj. Tego zginął ten ziomek. Cokolwiek.
This sign is broken. Something heavy was dropped upon it.
Upadł ten chyba, jak to jest, ten ziomek. Ten ojciec. La 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 la. Dobra, co ja bym musiał zrobić? Search Archives, ok. Tell me the place where Montague met his death. Tell me the Colonial Collection. Kurwa. Of Rising Sun.
The plants were here. All of them was stolen.
A Boże kochany, i co tu teraz? Red Right Tropics coś tam. Map of Q. Dobra, co tu mamy? Coś będzie trzeba
A
zrobić.
ventilation system. It should regulate the temperature of the staff buildings.
Object of
A
interest.
water tank. Locked.
Sit House. Witam serdecznie, widzę, że ktoś się na Twitchu pojawił. Dobra, nie wiem, coś trzeba będzie ogarnąć chyba. To będzie pootwierać te pozamykane rzeczy, ugłę. Bo tu się nie mogę dostać.
Would you unlock the doors for us?
Do you expect to find the stolen plants there? I am sorry, but those rooms are private.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Chemisch. Umba, umba, umba. Jest ten ziomek, tu jest. Może do niego zagadajmy.
Excuse me, but I have to tidy up this room.
Tidy up this room. Dobra, możemy się wrócić, myślę. Just. Sprawiedliwy. O, o, o. O, pewnie tak. O, o. Rare plants botany. Torze.
Here it is. That is not the one I need. That is not the one I need.
Symbol means divine. To ale skąd ja to wezmę? Nie newspaper.
That is not the one I need.
Ho.
That is
Dobra, no musimy...
The Divine Syndicate is not a supplier to Kew Gardens. Besides, there is no address here.
Chcesz, że symbolowych... A, jest. No. Aha, bo jeszcze tu było coś. Okej, ok.
Here it is.
Siemanko. Jak tam masz wszystkie skarpety, czy jeszcze potrzebujesz pomocy? Masz. Pogadajmy z tym ziutkiem.
Are you aware of the Divine Syndicate?
The divine
Syndicate.
what? Is this a joke?
No, I am quite serious.
What a ridiculous name. Anyway, I have never heard of this syndicate.
Syndicate.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
We shall continue.
Tell me, have you ever heard of the Divine Syndicate?
No, I cannot say that I have.
Nikt nic nie słyszano.
We shall see you again soon.
Ojku.
Farmhouse.
Palm House.
According to this, they have light and moisture control in some parts of the building.
Siemanko, tybijskie francuskie. A jeszcze tu coś jest.
These windows were perfectly cleaned.
Jak tam życie?
A fragment of marble, most likely chipped from a statue or sculpture. This broken fragment was the result of a heavy blow. The smell is strong. It is a detergent. Part of this greenhouse was emptied and thoroughly cleaned.
No, zimno. Słońce trochę, wiesz, wyszło, ale... Myślę, że przez wiatr tak jest.
Territories of the British Empire.
Minus 6 w nocy, o kurwa. Nie no, ja to mam wolne, kurczę, to sobie siedzę w domciu.
Blood. Someone
Bo
fell
dzisiaj
violently
no też by
against
pojechał na
the
zajęcia, a akurat odwołali to.
most likely a head wound.
Bez tydzień mam wolne.
Around here are quite suspicious. I need my imagination to make sense of it all.
Doski wróciłeś, o proszę.
This reconstruction reveals a disturbing fact. Montague Dunn damaged the door of the Colonial Collection Room.
He was in a panic, or the door was locked. Was it an accident, or a murder then, I wonder?
Pi. Autopsję trzeba będzie zrobić. Ja mam wolne całe życie.
I asked Inspector Lestrade to take Montague Dunn's body to Scotland Yard.
It's ready for autopsy then.
Watson. Body.
First of all, let us carry out an external examination.
No będziemy go chyba ciąć.
There is an injury to the skull, most probably caused by the fall in the water lily greenhouse. The vessels and the pupil of the eye appear quite normal. The air from the lungs carries a faint floral aroma. There are no suspicious marks upon the chest. Let us finish our external examination so that we can proceed with the autopsy. Nothing suspicious here.
Okej.
No redness, stings, or bruises. Now, let us examine the internal organs.
Będę go ciąć. Uj.
The liver is enlarged. It would seem that he was suffering from an alcohol addiction. The liver tissue is brown. There are no visible pathological signs. The lungs are congested and edematous. The tissue on the inferior lobe of the right lung is damaged, most probably caused by toxins from an unknown plant. The stomach tissues show no visible pathological signs. There is a small amount of content. It appears that he breakfasted lightly, only a short while before his death.
Okej.
The heart's blood vessels show no pathological signs. The heart tissue shows no visible pathological signs.
Loving you
Suspicions have been
was like
substantiated.
loving the
Montague
dead.
Dunn, the director of Kew Gardens, died from poisoning. Plant poisoning, to be more exact.
You mean
Yes, it is murder.
we should inform Lestrade?
Yes, but do remember, Watson, that I discovered the murder. The challenge is mine.
The challenge, Holmes?
We need to locate that deadly plant. Such a perfect murder appeals to me.
Murder of any kind appeals to you. Is that all we need to do?
No, we also have the people working at Kew Gardens. Martin Hamish and the son of the victim, Albert Dunn.
And also Miss White, of whom we spoke with Mr. Hamish. Should we bring them all here for interrogation?
No, a few innocuous questions at Kew will suffice, as well as a discreet delve into their personal affairs. Yes, Watson, it is time now to open the doors.
Even those in the staff building. I suppose that is necessary.
We should also be concerned with the victim himself. After all, we don't know very much about Montague Dunn.
You're enjoying this already, aren't you?
More than a little.
More than a little, more than a little. Dobra. Kew Gardens. Ha. Benz lub beta masowitką WWA. WWA. Ale mi wali w dekiel. Benz lub beta. Trzeba coś tu odwalić?
Tell me, Mr. Hamish, do you grow the more deadly variety of plant here?
You mean insectivorous? Yes, but nothing larger than that.
What is your opinion of Albert as a student of botany?
He's useless. I often tell him so, and I can only give him cleaning tasks. Botany is not his life's work, and his father well knew it. He was furious about it.
He was.
Oh yes, he forced his son to work here, and he never missed an opportunity to criticize him publicly.
Are you able to elaborate on that?
Well, for example, with our last exhibition here, Mr. Dunn had Albert make a presentation speech. But then, while the lad was speaking, Mr. Dunn interrupted him, asking him difficult questions, making him look like a failure. It was with the intention of making a fool of him, Mr. Holmes.
That must have been terribly humiliating.
Yes, he was crushed, and he had to leave. Everybody was making fun of poor Albert. That is, except for Miss Margaret White, who is such a nice lady and who always takes pity on Albert.
You mentioned a Miss White. Would you tell us more about her?
She is a student who works here.
O tym ma co robić w wozie, dlatego coś czyta. No ta.
She possesses a great talent for botany. You should take a look at some of her experiments that she carried out.
Też ludzie w pociągach też czytają, nie?
If only she were not so naive.
Książki, czytam gazety.
The way she used to flutter around Mr. Montague, and why, he couldn't help but be flattered by all her attention. How could an intelligent woman such as Miss White not see through his game? I can only scratch my head and wonder.
Mr. Hamish, can you tell us who holds the keys to the locked greenhouses?
That would be Albert, Mr. Dunn's son. Yes, Albert keeps all the keys, and one can only imagine why.
What do you mean?
Well, he was never interested in Kew Gardens before, and now all of a sudden he's trying to act as if he owns the place. I think he wants to take over the management here. He'd do better to leave that to me. He has no experience. No, none at all.
As deputy director, how was your relationship with Montague Dunn?
To be honest with you, Mr. Holmes, it could have been better. You see, every Tuesday he would carry out his inspection of the gardens, but it was solely to make an impression, great pretense that he cared at all. He would give out absurd orders, ignoring anyone else's opinion. He would then disappear for the rest of the week. He was what some might call a man of action. I'd say rather he was overzealous and chaotic. So after all, it was no wonder, perhaps, that he ended up like that, if you take into consideration his kind of lifestyle.
You mentioned that Mr. Dunn led a particular lifestyle.
Well, it's no secret that he enjoyed, celebrating, shall we say? He was a member of the London Smart Set. He was famous for it. That
And
he had an eye for the ladies, to put it mildly, Mr. Holmes.
Mr. Hamish, can you explain to us what happened to the colonial collection? It seems somewhat depleted.
But, most likely maintenance work, tidying up.
You're not sure, then? But you're the deputy director.
Well, I am busy. I cannot be everywhere at once.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation. Locked.
Locked.
Do you hold the keys to all of these locked doors?
Yes, you can have them. But I cannot give you the keys to the cloakroom. The employees' effects are private. I am sure you understand.
I imagine that your relationship with your father may have been a strained one.
Yes. I cannot say that he was a kind man, for he never listened to me at all. He forced me to work here. But now, after his death, I've been pondering it over. Perhaps he wasn't so wrong about me after all. I have to follow his path, and I have to manage Kew Gardens, and I can do it. I can be as good as any other who works here.
We noticed that a part of the colonial collection has been cleared.
Ah. At the moment, I'm just dealing with the storage room. I don't know much about the other rooms.
Who is Miss Margaret White?
Ah, she is the young lady who studies with me. She visits here sometimes to help out with the greenhouses. In fact, she should be here today. She wanted to work at the seed house. That's the small greenhouse across from the large glass house.
Would you please tell us about Martin Hamish, the deputy director?
Something.
Well, I have to tell you that Mr. Hamish is not and has never been the deputy director of Kew Gardens. My father would not have tolerated it.
Indeed. That is most interesting. He told us that he was.
Yes, because he believes that the management should be passed down to him now that my father is dead. But in actual fact, Mr. Hamish only has the honour of being the garden's longest-serving employee. In fact, if we are to think logically at all, it should be me who takes over the management of Kew Gardens.
Do you not have a good relationship with Mr. Hamish?
I suppose so. But we have very little in common. Mr. Hamish loves his plants and Kew Gardens, and I cannot say that I share his passion.
I see. And how was his relationship with your father?
Oh, he hated my father. It was obvious. He would be furious whenever my father boasted of Kew Gardens in the newspapers or at conferences. He was convinced that my father was stealing all of the credit for himself. That my father treated Mr. Hamish in the same way as he treated anyone. Dismissively. With indifference.
Thank you, young man. We shall see you again soon.
Aj. Find the plants, find out at the seed house, okay. Loving you was like loving it.
Locked.
Locked. Co my tu mamy?
Written by Martin Hamish.
Jakaś praca, nie wiem, licencjacka,
The
fizys.
glasses case. It is empty.
Rozprawa może,
This
o.
area serves as Martin Hamish's office. An award presented to Martin Hamish for Best Grower of the Year. A master's degree diploma. It belongs to Martin Hamish. These young plants must be delicate if they are kept in the nursery.
Jest razy trzeba płakać, że się obudziłem. Bo ty masz ile? 23 lata, tak? To twoje rodzeństwo to ile ma? Parę lat? Czy jak to jest? Znaczy, no ja tam zawsze się budzę taki wyspany, nie?
Here.
Już nie mam jakichś koszmarów czy innych tam. Nie no, czasami się tam obudzę jakiś taki styrany. Nie mogę zasnąć, ale zazwyczaj tu tak się wysypiam i gitara się ma, nie?
Locked.
Locked.
Open.
Open. Jest ta laska tam. Dajmy sobie, może coś tu da się kliknąć. A da się. To będzie nam potrzebne, bo tu będzie jakieś takie większe dochodzenie. Dobra, trzeba będzie zrobić jej portret.
Good day to you, miss. You have some very beautiful plants here.
Why, thank you, sir, and good day to you too. But
Oh, I do beg your pardon. My name is Dr. John Watson. This is my good friend, Mr. Sherlock Holmes.
I am honored to make your acquaintance, gentlemen. My name is Margaret White. Excuse me, but are you Sherlock Holmes, the great detective?
Yes, I am he.
What a pleasure to see you here at Kew Gardens. Are you working on a case?
Szóstkę o kurczę. Łoże jedyny. Ja tylko brata mam, jakby tu nas 6 było, nie 7, przepraszam, to matko i córko. W domu to matko. Tam nieźle musisz mieć w tym domu. Pink marks, past malnutrition. Nie wiem, chyba ta laska będzie winna. Coś tu jeszcze jest. Unmarried. Nieożeniona. Też tak widać te... Jest zachowana ta aura Wiesz, ja też chcę mieć, aby się z potworami napierdalać. No ale koszmar to jest bardziej, że potwory napierdalają ciebie, nie? A tu widać taką aurę tych czasów, nie? Że ludzie też byli młodzi i od razu się żenili. Bo ona jest studentką, to tam 20 parę lat ma.
Took place here a few days ago after their most recent
Jest zawsze wspominane, że ktoś jest żonaty, czy tam...
I quite forgot about
Bo
that.
po ślubie jest po prostu, nie?
Oh, it's quite understandable that you might forget about the theft of the plants, miss, after the tragedy that took place here.
Yes. The director was a truly good man. It is such a terrible misfortune.
Most of the doors in Kew Gardens are locked. Do you have a key to this room?
Oh, yes. Albert gave me a set of duplicate keys.
Duplicate.
He agreed I might carry out my studies without disturbing him. It is only temporary.
The Divine Syndicate. Does that name mean anything to you, by any chance?
Not at all. But it is a very pretty name.
How well did you know Mr. Montague Dunn?
He was a master, a great leader. I saw him almost as a spiritual father.
He had an exceptional nature?
Oh, yes, indeed. He was always so active and so optimistic and very nice to me. Although he could behave harshly towards his son.
Why so?
He loved his son dearly and wanted the very best for him. It made him extremely demanding. Albert, who is naturally shy, suffered because of it.
Do you work here?
Part-time only. I am a biology student at the London University. I attend the same classes as the son of Mr. Montague Dunn. That is how I found my chance to work here for part of my thesis, you see. It is a great honor.
Would you happen to know why part of the colonial collection was cleared?
No, I have never been there.
Thank you, miss. None of the
Coś mi się zdaje, że to ona będzie winna.
Gardens
Tylko to trzeba
know
będzie jakoś
why
tak
half of the colonial
rozwikłać, to będzie tak skomplikowane.
someone
Pamiętam,
is
że miałem tu
lying.
dużo problemów.
From here, we are unable to see the interior of the colonial collection room. This is one of the outlets of the ventilation system. These leather gloves are new and of good quality. They do not appear to have been used. A book about ships. Nothing at all to do with plants. Materials for college study. They belong to Albert. This place serves as Albert's office.
Już sam spierdalam. Boże, ja nigdy takich snów jakichś, wiesz, zaawansowanych nie miałem. Jak już miałem taki sen, to nie wiem, z 20 sekund może. Najwyżej, minutę. I się od razu budziłem, albo jakoś tak, wiesz, ten sen tak odpływał w mojej świadomości. Dobra, co ja mam teraz zrobić? Gardens, staff buildings. Trzeba będzie te klucze zakosić. Nie wiem, czy ona tu ma jakiś kluczyk. Ciekawy.
Locked.
A co mamy?
There was a bottle here. It left behind a trace of the substance that pervaded the laboratory.
Gold dust? Good heavens. What's it doing here?
The gold is almost immune to chemical attacks, so it may be a valuable auxiliary for various experiments.
But why would anyone perform such experiments in a botanical garden?
Several drops of the substance were spilled. Someone carried this bottle around. Several drops. The bottle is no longer here, but it is possible to detect a faint scent. We need a good nose.
Tobiego trzeba ogarnąć. Jej! A chciałbym mieć takiego pieska jak Tobi. Takiego uszatego, fajnego.
A
Tak
botany-
targał za te uchory. Rotate.
This student's book belongs to Albert. Chemicals. A sufficient quantity for some serious experiments.
A phonograph used for voice recording. Remarkable.
Yes, this is quite a modern laboratory.
Cylinder. Fonograf. Można puścić?
Hamish's perception of plants. The notion of communication in the plant world has long been considered
Ciekawe jak coś takiego działało, nie? Kurde.
that some plants do indeed transmit chemical signals in the event of attack.
A study report by Martin Hamish.
No wkładaj tam.
And it seems clear from these multiple experiments that plants do respond to their environment and have a form of consciousness. Margaret White, February 1895. Report number 245.
Study report.
Są bardzo mądre, tak. Ja to mam 2 psy.
This is a table for
Nawet.
experiments. It
Miałem
was
kiedyś kota, ale on
Only this one is kept in good
wziął i
order.
uciekł. Znudziło mu się siedzieć w domu i uciekł. Jednego
It
brakuje.
appears as though the protective equipment is missing from here. Gloves, waterproof aprons, everything one might need for self-protection.
Do they grow dangerous plants here?
Such masks are generally worn when dealing with toxic chemicals. Locked.
Holmes, Albert Dunn didn't give us the key to this door.
It does not matter. We will open it.
Jej! A, że to wchodzi. Ok, 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 ok. Aha, zróbmy sobie może tak. O. Nie, nie, nie. A tu jeszcze brakuje, tak? Nie, no już to jest pełny obrót. No, działa.
Open.
Cloakroom.
Albert's locker.
Dobra.
Specialist articles on shipyards and ship construction. Albert Dunn has a great passion for shipbuilding and the sea. A rejection letter from the British Royal Naval College.
No to ojciec, ojciec odrzucił, znaczy sprawił, że go odrzucili z tego, z królewskiej marynarki. Z akademii, ogółem.
A picture of Miss White and Albert in front of the University of London.
And they seem to get along.
Albert. Już musiał dom posprzątać.
Hamish's locker.
Green Palm.
On rare and exotic plants. Martin Hamish has written several pieces.
People with no motivation.
Martin Hamish studied chemistry.
60. 60.
Father and I. Kew Gardens. Miss White's locker. Apparently, Miss White is a capable student. A draft of the letter that Miss White sent to her parents.
Aha, kłóciła się z rodzicami. Ok, ok, ok.
These jewels must be worth a small fortune.
A. Czyli jakiegoś kukolda se znalazła,
A vanity
byciaczka.
purse. It is of high quality.
Dobra, na razie nic się nie klei. Bez siadania, nie ma energii. O, siemano. Właśnie żeśmy wyszli.
Locked.
Miejsce, o. Tu ziomek w ogóle patrzy, nie wiem, troszkę takie niezbyt logiczne, ale
Newspapers discussing Kew Gardens.
Kew Gardens teams are pleased to announce Margaret Montey. A ona zarywała do obu. Proszę.
A photograph of Montague Dunn and Reynold Hamish.
Co tu trzeba zrobić? A. A dobra, czaję. Aha, to można 3. Chyba 2, 3, 2, 3 taki jest wzór. A, jednak nie. No Jezus. Dobra. Dobra, jeszcze raz spróbujmy. Ojku. Wywiezienia z nią? Ej, co jest? Nie. O Jezus. Pieka totalna.
I suggest that we don't tell Miss Margaret White about this document.
A. Kasa, 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 kasa. Znalazła sobie Sugar Daddy tak zwanego. Już Toby. Toby tak się nie robi.
I perceive that you are passionate about the Royal Navy.
Passionate? No, not really. I like ships, that is all.
Are you quite sure? You do not seem to be so interested in plants.
It's difficult, that's all. My future is here. It has never been about anything else.
Fragment from the... Nie.
I perceive that you are passionate about the Royal Navy.
Passionate? No, not really. I like ships, that
Być
is all.
więcej, a to nie chodziło o to, żeby mieć jedną osobę.
Be so interested in plants.
Chodziło o to, że mają kasę.
My
Kurczę.
future is here. It has never been about anything else.
And yet I know that the Royal Naval College rejected your application.
Ah, you truly are as clever as they say. Yes, that's correct. And in fact, my father was strongly against the idea. He did his best to ruin my plans, although I almost did succeed. But my dreams were shattered, Mr. Holmes.
Thank you, young man.
Shattered.
We shall see you again soon.
Dobra, do tych można jeszcze zagadać? Myślę, że to... Albo te chemisz, albo ta laska. Myślę, że ten chemisz chyba będzie
Was someone
głównym.
from your family connected with Kew Gardens?
Family? No. I'm the only one with a passion for botany.
I do not think so. This photograph of you and your father at Kew Gardens suggests the opposite.
But you have no right to.
Do tell us more about your father.
He was, indeed, the greatest botanist of his time in the British Empire. He worked together with Montague Dunn until the end of his life. He brought me in at the age of 12.
Did he get on well with Mr. Dunn?
No, I couldn't say that. They expanded Kew Gardens together, that was all. And it was all my father's work, for Dunn always lived the high life.
So Mr. Dunn was not helping your father?
Oh, yes, he provided the financial support. And as far as he was concerned, that fulfilled his role. But the worst of it was, he declared himself as the master of Kew Gardens. Fame meant nothing to my father. So it was easy for Mr. Dunn to take all the credit.
Thank you, Mr. Hamish. We shall continue our investigation.
Uba, 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 uba. No leć, kurczę.
Poor Mr. Montague Dunn. It is so awful.
Dobra, to idziemy chyba po Tobiego. Toby. The leaders of this organization.
Here it is. And here is the Divine Syndicate's address. Perfect. It is time to find out what they have against Montague Dunn.
Ding, ding, dong, ding, dong. Dobra, kurczę, wziąć tego Tobiego, a weźmiemy Tobiego. Toby, chodź. Jaka to jest
Come
rasa?
on, Toby. We have some work for you to do.
Jaki ogar to jest? Chyba nie jest.
Let us take Toby to the laboratory. He will pick up the scent of this mysterious substance. Search, Toby. Search.
Sieć. Uba. On fajnie tak popyla, tak sztywno. Para papa. Ugryź go w dupę, tego chemisza. Co my tu mamy? No to chyba będzie okryta, nie wiem, chyba ta roślinka.
Congratulations, Toby. Now let us see what you have found.
A nie, będzie ten bottle. Okej, przepraszam bardzo.
This is the bottle that was used in the laboratory. It was buried here. There is still some liquid remaining in the bottle, with gold flakes. A tiny caterpillar. Not surprising to see one in a garden, but at the bottom of a bottle.
Dobra, teraz się wrócimy, myślę. Jeszcze raz do Baker Street. Tego typu.
Let us determine just what we have found here. Let us pour liquid from the bottle into a test tube to perform an analysis. This is the bottle that we found here.
No, bierz to.
A colorless, water-based liquid. Quite a strong floral aroma.
Holmes? What are you doing?
It has a bitter taste.
What if it's poisonous?
Did you ever see poison stored in enormous jars like that? Anyway, there is a doctor nearby.
So, what do you think it is?
It is some kind of organic compound. Let us vaporize the liquid and see what happens. Small colorless crystals. Colorless, tiny crystals that are soluble in water, with a floral smell and a bitter taste. Watson, could you pass me that small bottle, please?
Of course. Here you are. Holmes, do you know what it is?
Wagner's reagent. There was a label on the bottle that you passed to me.
No, Holmes, I meant the bottle that we found.
Let me add the reagent and see if there is any sediment, and then I shall tell you. I need to take a pipette and make... Red sediment, just as I suspected. This liquid is of organic origin. It contains some alkaloid. Most likely it is unstable, and that is why there is a quantity of gold dust to prevent contamination. This mixture is probably a fertilizer. Someone was carrying out unusual experiments in the garden's laboratory. My analysis table, it is useful for my work.
Fajny use. Dobra, musimy pogadać teraz z tymi ziomkami tam.
This place is beautiful, Holmes. Its atmosphere is remarkably soothing.
Let us find someone who could help us.
Dun, 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 dun. Kurczę, abym sobie gdzieś pojeździł tak po świecie, ja pierdolę. Lekasiorki trzeba.
Good day to you, sir. My name is Sherlock.
I am exalting the sap. A while can you wait?
From the trace of elements and, moreover, from the quality of the ambient geotropism it depends. Therefore, please, mind my gravitropism. Its balance. Do not disturb.
Disturbed is most definitely the word.
There. Completed is the symbiosis. Welcomed you are. To introduce myself, I am the Green Grand Mystic.
The Green Grand Mystic? Himself?
This is me. Who am I speaking to?
We are two gentlemen who are extremely interested in the vegetation philosophy that is advocated by this establishment.
Listening to you, I am.
Okej. Tattoo. Chiński smok. Chemical practice. Chemical.
We visited Kew Gardens, and we found your symbols on their flower pots.
Coincidence, I am thinking. They would scavenge our refuse. It would not surprise me.
It was merely an observation. We should like to take a look around, to immerse ourselves in the wisdom that emanates from here.
It is a school of anastomosis, the divine scholastic syndicate for vegetation veneration and meditation. You may say, the divine syndicate. Glory to the eukaryotic. Only true devotees, those whose hearts are ready to spermatophize in sharing of knowledge, are permitted to physically enter our vegetable kingdom and its wisdom. And to be permitted, you must earn it. Yes.
Mura je zabić. Holmesa.
Green Grand Mystic, we are ready to become devotees and gain access to your temple.
What is the name of our Lord, our God King?
Our God King's name is Treewan, Green Grand Mystic.
Oh la, good, I like you. Here is the holy key to the wisdom place. Holy donation can you make whenever you so wish.
Thank you so much.
I pray you to taste our
Papa poop,
fertilizer
papa.
sauce. From the burdens of life it helps to free.
But of course,
Raw sap, it is called. It is near the entrance.
well, we will leave you to your meditation.
Co my tu mamy? Bóg jest tylko jeden, jak powiedziano kiedyś.
A fragment of a flower pot.
Something hidden.
The Kew Gardens symbol.
You got symbol. Dun 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 dun.
That should be the raw sap that the Green Grand Mystic
Opium.
This is rather delicious and of an excellent quality.
My word, Holmes. Their sap is like a form of cocaine.
Osmosis and photosynthesis.
This must be Treewan, the Divine Syndicate's god. This door is locked, but I can try to open it.
Ba ba. Bu bu. I znowu, jak nie lubię takich rzeczy, kurde. Dobra, tu mamy takie coś. Myślę, że to jest narkotyk. Bo oni tu brali takie narkotyki. Nie. Pasuje. Dziwne. Działa, dobra.
These instruments are used
No
for
mówię, że oni tu
sneaking
walili takie narkotyki. No niestety to był problem. W ogóle była, jak to się, wojna bokserów? Wojna bokserów chyba to się nazywało. Że było, nie, powstanie bokserów, tak. Że Chińczycy się zbuntowali przeciwko władzy brytyjskiej. Dziwne te... Nie, to chodzi o o taką minigrę.
This substance is alkaloid, the same as in the bottle we found in the bushes at Kew Gardens. This cabinet is full of chemicals. They are the same as the ones we found in the laboratory at Kew Gardens. That would be enough to perform the most difficult of chemical experiments.
Ok. No ogólnie był taki problem na początku XX wieku i pod koniec XIX, że arystokracja była uzależniona od opium. Że było powstanie bokserów, że wojny opiumowe nawet tam w Chinach, że oni się zbuntowali przeciwko władzy brytyjskiej. No ogólnie ludzie byli uzależnieni, nie? Od kokainy, od... No Hongkong, tak. No, znaczy, no nie znam się aż tak za bardzo, wiesz? Tylko wiem, że było powstanie tych bokserów, nie? Jakieś wojny opiumowe, coś takiego. No nie znam się za bardzo, tylko...
Caterpillars. They are raised as food for certain plants. Let's take them. A tropical plant, nothing of interest. A tropical plant, nothing of interest.
Tak, oni mieli to Hongkong, tak. Masz rację. No to kojarzę tylko, że tam była jakaś no chryja o to wszystko. O te opium,
Nothing of interest.
o te kolonie ich tam.
A tropical plant, nothing of interest. These three plants are identical to the ones shown at the exhibition. I shall take them.
Ciekawe, gdzie on je schowa. Pogo.
A tropical plant, nothing of interest. A tropical plant, nothing of interest.
Nie wiem, czy nie będzie zadymy z tym górą. Już nie pamiętam, kurczę, tyle gierek się grało, to już człowiek zapomina. Możliwe, że schował, no kaktusa schował w gacie. Amish's motive.
Perfect, Watson. We can begin our experiment.
A skąd możesz wiedzieć, jaka postać ma fetysze? A skąd możesz wiedzieć, że schował je w gacie? A, widzisz? Mam cię. O, Watson. Widzę, że ci się udzieliło. I Yang.
I imagine that one of these plants would be capable of releasing a toxic vapor. I need to find out exactly how it could be done. I shall begin now. Watson, if you are at all optimistic to have dinner this evening, then I'd recommend that you put on the gas mask.
Paczuszka mi dzisiaj przyjedzie. La 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 la. Put back.
I find the behavior of predators utterly fascinating. How interesting. What a strong and effective defensive mechanism.
Ono będzie trujące jakieś powietrze puszczać, nie? No nic się nie stało. Czekaj. Trzeba będzie polać chyba ją. Czekajcie i teraz.
It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid.
On teraz ugryzie. I ona teraz coś wypuści chyba.
It closed again. I believe I saw a small cloud of gas. I wonder what secrets this plant is hiding. Perhaps if we agitate it to a greater extent whilst it is opened, it will reveal a little more. I am interested in what might occur if the prickly plant should shoot at it.
Dobra, czyli trzeba to. Mnie to nie dziwi, że ten.
It appears to open after being soaked with alkaloid. This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid. How interesting. What a strong and effective defensive mechanism. I am interested in what might occur.
A to trzeba będzie jej chyba uśpić. Tak.
This plant becomes inactive after being drenched with alkaloid. How interesting. I am interested. No reaction.
Kurde, i co ja mam zrobić?
I find the behavior. How interesting. What a strong and effective defensive mechanism. I am interested in what might occur.
A, nie, tak, i zamieńmy. I teraz ja zrobię.
Toxic gas with spores. Extraordinary. The plants would be capable of killing only if they were directly next to the victim. and stimulated at precisely the right moment.
Let us take our caterpillars to the Colonial Collection Room. We may see things more clearly there.
It is too early, Watson. Our suspects will be there. Let
Pom,
us
pom,
investigate
pom,
Kew
pom, pom,
Gardens one
pom,
more
pom,
time
pom.
and ask some questions.
Pewnie sobie... Dobra, to sobie później myślę ogarniemy. To chyba będzie tyle na dzisiaj. Może tyle na teraz. Jeszcze sobie po południu i wieczorkiem zagramy. Ja dziękuję wszystkim za obecność. Trzymajcie się. Do następnego. Cześć.